Why did the Election Commission allow the 2024 elections to be held without first insisting on the census be held? In Bihar, after the caste census, there is a danger that the ruling party may not get as many votes. So are the votes being removed? Because of that reason, the Election Commission has to come up with clear answers, because the future of India's democracy depends on free and fair elections. Having faith in the neutrality of the Election Commission. Hi, this is RN Bhaskar from Bhaskar Ki Business Baatein. This is a channel that comes to you every week with policy analysis, conversations, and occasionally business stories as well. But today, we are focused on a policy issue. And this policy issue is about the future of democracy in India. And that is why this policy issue, this policy discussion is about 3 questions we would like the Election Commission of India to provide replies to publicly, unequivocally, and not hedging around. The 3 questions are crucially important. The questions emerge because of one single act that the Election Commission did. And that was recently when it brought in a scheme called the SIR for Bihar, by which it started looking at the entire population and disenfranchising many people from voting. The norms followed were arbitrary, bizarre, and made many people in the opposition believe that this was an attempt not to allow certain classes of people to vote. The matter went to court, and the matter is still being debated in the court. Meanwhile, to complicate matters further, there were charges made against the government in the month of August 2025 that the government had fudged electoral rolls in one district in Karnataka. There was a third reason why these questions become important, and that is because in July this year, the UIDAI, the organization in charge of Aadhaar cards, suddenly decided to cancel the Aadhaar cards of 1.17 crore people. Its justification? That these are people who died, and hence the Aadhaar cards need to be removed. Really? Wasn't it 2 years ago that the government made a public statement in the parliament saying, we cannot cancel the names of dead people because the Aadhaar software allows names to be added but not deleted? Well, if the software has been remedied and mended, good news. But why 1.17 crore? The number of dead people unaccounted for yet, and whose Aadhaar cards are floating around, is over 16 crores. Many times that number. Why were they also not cancelled? And that is why these questions to the Election Commission become crucial. Question 1. Why did the Election Commission suddenly wake up and realized that there were Aadhaar cards that needed to be weeded out? After all, this is old news. Right since 2021, there have been statement after statement in the parliament, even earlier than that at least 9 states had more Aadhaar cards than the populations of the states. We wrote about it again and again. And we also said that unless a census is held, you will not be able to weed out the Aadhaar cards, the bogus Aadhaar cards. Instead, the government postponed the census. So question 1 is, why did the Election Commission allow the 2024 elections to be held without first insisting on the census being held. You should have removed the bogus Aadhaar cards at that time through census. Because in the census, government officials go in a group from house to house, writing down every person they met, discussed with, corroborated with neighbors in the place, and then enter the names of people who are actually residents and citizens of this country. Why did the Election Commission allow that election to be held? It kept quiet then. Question 2 is basically this. For the last 10 years at least, the government was aware that many deaths were not being recorded and that many deaths were just dead people who were still floating around on the registers with Aadhaar cards. The matter first came to light when the registrar in charge of births and deaths pointed out that at least 12.5% of people who died were not even confirmed that they were dead. Somebody came and told the authorities, "Oh, mar gaya hai, he's died." And they wrote in the books that he's dead. There were no witnesses. There was no body. Maybe he was cremated privately. Maybe he was buried privately. Maybe he was murdered and put underground. 12.5% of dead people are not recorded in registers and are just assumed to be dead because of statistical reasons. You know that if a man whose birth was about 90 years before and cannot be found must be presumed dead. That is a statistical assumption. That is not all. 40% of the dead do not have medically certified documents. They have died. Someone goes and tells the police station he has died. We wish to record the death. But because there's no doctor around, there's no medical examination of the dead body. He could have been killed. India has a problem with measuring its dead, with counting its dead. In spite of that, the Election Commission said yes to the 2024 elections, and actually the only way to remove all the dead people from the rolls was by having a census. Why did the Election Commission keep quiet? The third question is, why is the SIR being applied to Bihar? Just because Bihar is an election? You had 2 other state elections in the last 8 months. Did you raise that issue then? Or was it because that time the ruling party was in a comfortable position to win the elections, so it doesn't matter? In Bihar, after the caste census, there is a danger that the ruling party may not get as many votes. So are the votes being removed because of that reason? The Election Commission has to come up with clear answers. Just let me give you a reminder. The reminder is to click the subscribe button, click the like button, and please tell your friends about us so that our audience grows. And the second point, UIDAI says that 1.17 crore people's names have been cancelled. Did the Election Commission ask why only 1.17 crore? The number of dead which have not been cancelled from the Aadhaar list could run into excess of 16 crore. Why are you selectively pulling out the dead? It is this selective approach towards numbers, this selective approach towards screening, this selective approach towards any preparation of electoral rolls, as is being alleged today about the elections in Karnataka, which makes the Election Commission lose credibility. When they were told that these people are on the electoral rolls in Karnataka and they are then 5 other electoral rolls in different states, the Election Commission, instead of immediately verifying or confirming, rebutted that let that come as a sworn oath as an application. There is documentation being provided in public. Either refute it or accept it. Don't dilate. The issue is very serious. We would like the Election Commission to answer these 3 questions, because the future of India's democracy depends on free and fair elections. It depends upon having faith in the neutrality of the Election Commission. These 3 issues over which we have raised questions makes one wonder if the Election Commission is rapidly losing its neutrality. The Commission needs to reassert its authority and its credibility. Thanks for watching this program, and it's good to have you with us. Please tell everyone you know about it. The issues are very serious for India, for your future, and for the country, and for everyone else in this country. Thank you once again. You will find us now every morning at 8:15 a.m. on weekdays, where we come out with daily news, or better still, news behind the news. Do watch it.